The great boxing master is prepping to defend his middleweight crown in a September 23rd showdown with welterweight title holder Carmen Basilio. Yankee Stadium is the arena for the Battle of Champions, and here's the ex-welterweight king, unsuccessful challenger for the light heavyweight crown, and 4 times middleweight champion, Sugar Ray Robinson. The biggest problem facing Sugar Ray is Basilio's tremendous stamina. Carmen has demonstrated beyond a doubt that he's one of the most durable men in the ring today. At 37, the Sugar Man may have a tough time staying with the pace. Robinson's lifelong friend and manager, George Gainsford, claims Sugar Ray is in excellent condition and his legs in top shape. If there's one thing that will favor Robinson, that's his ability to step into a ring and punch with the best of them. Ray is sparring with Tommy Taylor. Tommy's style is patterned to Carmen Basilio's, and Ray is getting a taste of what to expect September 23rd. Sports writers who have called Robinson the greatest fighter pound for pound in the last 50 years know what they're writing about. Sugar Ray is a fistic genius. The next step in Ray's training is a session on his patented punching bag. Robinson favors it over the regular light bag because you can move against it as if it were a regular opponent, and it's just as hard to hit. To put together combinations on a target like this, your timing must be perfect. After winding up the day's training, the world middleweight champion Sugar Ray Robinson is gracious enough to grant us an informal and exclusive interview. Let's listen in as he talks with Chris Schenkel.
Ray, I must say, you couldn't find a more beautiful spot to train under.
Well, thank you, Chris. I rather enjoy it here. I've spent quite a number of years here in Greenwood Lake. I find it very comfortable for training.
But I suppose you've been here during the winter time when all these trees weren't quite as pretty as they are today.
Oh, yes, gee, we've had some very bad winters here. The snow really piles up here, and it gets quite cold, too. We have the best ski slide, I imagine, in the state of New York, Mount Peter, right up here. And the activity here for winter sports during the winter is really something to see.
Ray, I knew you had taken up golf, but I didn't know that you'd become a skier.
Oh, no, I haven't. I just grew up to watch it.
Ray, you haven't been in the ring for a fight since May 1st, and that's been quite some time ago, and I know after that great victory that you've had a lot of time to think and a lot of time to take it easy. What have you been doing since May 1st?
Well, I've been giving a lot of time to my youngster, Ray II, and also playing a lot of golf and trying to do some things with my businesses to rehabilitate them and get them to the standpoint where I can feel a little more relaxed. And I'm happy to say that things are coming along a lot better. And now I'm concentrating mostly upon this fight and then what I'm going to do after that.
Well, we're going to get to that other goal coming up just a little bit later, but I did want to see what it was like for a fighter of your great ability after training so hard for a fight as you did for the May 1st one, and then the sudden letdown where you aren't in the ring, you aren't punching the bag. You ever get a little worried about, gee, maybe my condition is going to get so far away that I can't get back into condition? Or is that no problem?
No, Chris, I never think like that. I guess I have so much ham in me. I think positive always. I believe I can do anything, and boxing's been it is my business, and it's been my business. I don't know all the answers, but I'm the greatest authority in the world on Sugar Ray Robinson, and I have some idea on just what he can do and what he can't do.
There are a lot of authorities on Sugar Ray Robinson. You're a great number of fans who I know will be at Yankee Stadium on September 23rd for that fight with Carmen Basilio.
Oh, yes. We're anticipating a very nice turnout, and I hope and pray that I can give my best and that my best will be good enough for me to emerge victoriously.
Ray, beyond the September 23rd fight with Carmen Basilio, do you have any definite boxing goals?
It's hard to say, Chris. Whether I'll box anymore will depend largely on the outcome of the coming fight with Carmen Basilio. If I'm successful, then I plan to make my future plans insofar as boxing is concerned that night.
Ray, you're a drawing card wherever you go, and there's one wish that we have in knowing you all these years, that you pack Yankee Stadium on September 23rd with Basilio, and I know it'll be one of those terrific fights that you always turn in, and you look in the pink of condition now with many weeks to go, and I know that you'll be in there like a 22-year-old Sugar Ray.
Well, thanks a lot, Chris. I will be trying to give it the best that I have, and I hope that that'll be good enough.
Ray, thanks for being so hospitable coming up here. We really enjoyed it today, and we hope to come back when you train for your next one.
Oh, do that, Chris.
The Battle of the Year is scheduled for September 23rd at Yankee Stadium when Carmen Basilio, the Canastota Cyclone, who blasted his way to the welterweight title, challenges Sugar Middleweight honors. Carmen is one of the best conditioned fighters in the ring today, and we're going to see how he gets that way as we follow him through a typical training day at his camp at Alexandria Bay in the Thousand Islands region of New York. Carmen's day begins at 5:30. There must be a better way to make a living. A few minutes later, the former onion farmer from Canastota, New York, is on his way to a few miles of road work. Carmen is always in perfect condition, and this dogged determination to be in top shape has proved to be one of his greatest assets. Basilio proved this in his knockdown, drag-out fights with Tony DeMarco. He thinks DeMarco is the hardest hitter he ever faced, and he rates those fights his toughest. Carmen realizes he's in for another busy evening against Robinson, and he's preparing accordingly. With the road work behind him, Carmen is ready for the next item on his training menu, a hearty breakfast. Carmen's pretty blonde wife handles the cooking chores, even at training camp, and keeps Carmen company for his early breakfast. Basilio is a natural welter, so weight is no real problem, but he watches his diet carefully. His menu contains plenty of steaks, chops, and green vegetables. Carmen believes that staying in shape year-round helps to keep him a natural welterweight. He expects to come into the fight at 150 to 152 pounds. Sugar Ray will probably scale about 9 pounds more, so Basilio knows his strength and stamina will play an important role in the outcome of the fight. Early in the afternoon, the welterweight champion heads into Alexandria Bay, a vacation village in the Thousand Islands region. He is a real local hero, and the people of this small town will all be at the fight en masse. His training center is located in the town auditorium, and there's always a good crowd on hand for the afternoon sparring session. Carmen and nephews Eddie and Freddie are well known. Alexandria Bay's mayor, Lyle Wagner, greets the champ and his two best fans as they head for the auditorium. Everyone is impressed with Basilio's friendliness, and it wouldn't be an exaggeration to say he has met and spoken to almost everyone in town. Naturally, his followers all think he will become the next middleweight champion of the world. Basilio goes into each sparring session with the attitude that he's fighting for the title. He's trained by his co-managers Joe Nitro and Johnny Dijon. His record and his rise to the championship are testimony to their ability. They keep Carmen hopping, but the atmosphere is relaxed and friendly. Basilio's sparring partner today is Archie Whitfield, whose style and quickness of hands resemble Robinson. Whitfield, who is taller than Carmen, worked with Gene Fulmer when he was in training for his bout with Sugar Ray. Carmen is younger than Robinson by 7 years, but he's giving away several inches in height and reach and will scale about 9 pounds less. Basilio's stamina and ruggedness and his ability to solve an opponent's style are his greatest assets. Last February, when he knocked out Johnny Saxton in 2 rounds, he set a pace that was unbelievable. If he could set such a pace on September 23rd, he might put an end to Robinson's career. Carmen packs a wallop with either hand. His sparring partners will testify to that. Robinson won't win any popularity contests around Carmen's camp, since Basilio's end of the purse was cut 5% in order to meet Robinson's demand for a bigger guarantee. The welterweight champion is always glad to stop, talk, and give autographs, and is rated by the fans, press, and radio people as one of the real gentlemen in boxing today. After stopping in to see a few friends at the Chez Paris Diner, Carmen heads back to his camp. His nephews Eddie and Freddie are still tagging along, and all will welcome the relaxation that goes with living at his cottage on the lake. Back
back at camp after 12 hours of work. Carmen usually takes his boat out for some fishing. His camp is located about 4 miles from the town on the St. Lawrence River. His nephews like this part of his day best of all. After dinner, Carmen relaxes by watching television or playing cards with his wife. Let's hear from Carmen Basilio himself as he talks with Dan Wise, who has his microphone set up to interview the welterweight champion of the world, the challenger for Ray Robinson's middleweight crown.
Carmen, you're more or less of a swarmer and a swinger, whereas Robinson's always been known as a boxer who has a pretty good wallop. This usually makes for a tremendous scrap. Do you feel that in going out and setting a tremendous pace as you did against Saxton in your last fight with him, that you'll be able to get to Robinson early?
Well, Dan, I'm fighting a man with an entirely different style. With Saxton in my last fight, I had hurt him in the first round, and I kept after him to finish him off. Now, if the same thing should happen in the first round against Robinson, naturally I'd set a fast pace to keep him hurt and try to knock him out. But those things I can't plan on. They have to result during the fight, and we go according to how the fight goes.
Carmen, while you were sparring this afternoon, I noticed that you were really going all out, as if you were already fighting for the middleweight championship right there in that ring. Is it your policy to go at it that hard right from the very beginning, or do you build up gradually to a real concentrated sparring session like that?
Well, today I worked hard. I set a fast pace. I work hard every day, but every day is different. Now, tomorrow I may box slower and set a different kind of a pace, and I may box more rounds than I did today. Now, today I only boxed 3 rounds, whereas tomorrow I may box 4, and as we go along, we'll push it up to 6, and some days we'll even box 8 rounds with not one sparring partner, where today I boxed with one man. I'll have 3 sparring partners up here and box 2 rounds and 3 rounds with different sparring partners and set a different pace.
Carmen, I was a little surprised to notice when we met this afternoon that you have Mrs. Basilio with you in your training quarters. That's a little unusual for a fighter who's training, particularly for a big fight like this one coming up. Most fighters, or at least their managers, seem to feel that it's better for them to get away from the softening influence of the women folk. How do you feel about that particular subject?
Well, Dan, I've always had my wife with me for all of my big fights. Well, she's been with me in my training since the day that we were married, and she does the cooking. She cooks the way I want my food cooked. She does things the way I want her to do things in the training camp, and she does everything the way things are supposed to be done for a fighter. And I couldn't ask for anyone better to have around, and I just want her in camp.
Well, Carmen, their tickets are on sale for that battle already at Madison Square Garden in New York. I wouldn't be surprised if one of the biggest crowds of the year was out there to see you tangle with Sugar Ray Robinson in your attempt to take his middleweight crown away from him. I'm sure that no matter what else happens, it's going to be one of the big battles of the year, and we certainly want to wish you the best of luck. You've been a great welterweight champion, and we may be saluting you as the new middleweight champion.
Thank you, Dan.
Nearly 40,000 fans in Yankee Stadium and all eyes on the ring as announcer Johnny Addy introduces the 2 contestants.
Main event, 15 rounds for the middleweight championship of the world. Introducing from Chittenango, New York, wearing black trunks, weighing 153.5 pounds, the welterweight champion of the world, Carmen Basilio. Basilio. His opponent from New York City, wearing white trunks, weighing 160, middleweight king, Sugar Ray Robinson. 15 rounds for the middleweight championship of the world.
The middleweight champion, taller, heavier, and 6 years older than Basilio, begins the first round, as he will every succeeding one, shooting out jabs. Basilio sets a pattern, too, weaving, crouching, trying to get in and under. The fight starts carefully, as it must. Neither of these fighters has met in the ring before. They're simply exploring, feeling each other out. The third man in the ring is referee Al Burrell. Was fairly even. By now, they're beginning to open up. Before this round is over, Basilio will land some of those hooks for which he's famous, and Sugar will counter just as beautifully. Already you can sense what a perfect match this is. These two men are masters at their trade. Here's a nice close-up. Robinson stinging in those jabs. Basilio trying to get in close with those wicked hooks. Round 5, it's been a pretty even match. Basilio's been cut over his left eye and is still a target for Sugar Ray. But Carmen has been taking his toll, too, with body punches that can hurt a man. Every time he gets in to land a hook, you can sense the reaction. Basilio, as always, is forcing the fight. You can see that left eye of his bleeding again. Burrow pulls them apart. There have been few clinches. seems time for an explosion. By now, almost everyone figured the climax would come. A sudden series of punches that might spell doom for either fighter. Both men are in superb condition. Both men are dishing it out and staying in there. Basilio still has that patch over his left eye. Notice how he continues to force the fight, although just a little bit slower. And Robinson, watching like a hawk, always looking for that split-second opening, eager to uncork his combinations. Number 11, 30 minutes of actual fighting have gone by. Neither man has really taken over, but this is the round that will be the fiercest of them all. Before it's over, we'll see the fastest, hardest exchanges of the entire fight. Watch closely. Basilio has him on the ropes. 30 seconds left in the round. Round number 12, and again one of the climactic rounds of this great fight. Once more, those opening jabs by Robinson. Sugar Ray's just a bit slower, but he's shaken off that battering he took in the previous round. Basilio weaving, crouching, always aggressive. He's loaded with confidence after that last round. But watch Robinson show his dynamite. 3 rounds left in this sensational battle for the middleweight championship of the world. Sugar Ray, sharpest shooting puncher of the modern ring, and Carmen Basilio taking everything he's got and hammering back all the way. That's a tired Robinson Basilio is going after, but he's dead game. Watch those hooks get through. The round is nearly over. It's time for Robinson to stage his last-minute flurry. Round 14, and each of these champions is calling upon everything he's got. For round after round, they've traded punches in one of the greatest fights in this division. Neither man has scored a knockdown, yet both of them have power enough to pull it off with a single punch. Both men are showing their weariness. Here we go for the final round. Through it all, both Robinson and Basilio have dueled like champions. With just 3 minutes left, Basilio is still the aggressor. Robinson, who figured to have it tougher if the fight went as long as this, is gamely hanging on, mouth open, jabbing all the time and tying Carmen up in the clinches. 30 seconds to go. There's the bell, and the big fight is over. Both Sugar Ray Robinson and Carmen Basilio deserve tremendous credit. Each is responsible for one of the truly great fights of our time. But now it's all up to the ring officials appointed by the New York State Athletic Commission. Here's announcer Johnny Addy with their decision.
Judge Adi Idala scores it 9-5, 1 even, Basilio. Referee Al Burl scores it 9-6, Robinson. The other judge, Bill Recht, scores it 8-6, 1 even. The winner and new middleweight champion of the world, Carmen Basilio.